What's going on, guys? TKD123 back a video, and today is another Sunday. That means another installment of these Sunday reviews. Every Sunday you want, like, in the channel, I review an album we listen to throughout the week. You will see a tweet posted around Monday or so, when I picked out the album that I wanted to review this week, and then we will go on and proceed to talk about it on Twitter, whenever I bring it up in discussion or topic, whatever. And then at the end of the week on Sunday, we review the entire album in its full, right? So this week we have an artist that I generally love, right? You know what I'm saying? And I haven't listened to a full album from him, and he mainly is kind of the nice feature that I would like to have on a album or a song and everything like that. And he's been around the block here in a bit. He's not anything crazy, but I feel like he's definitely known. I'd say he's definitely in that nice kind of medium echelon of, like, rappers or whatever. You know how it goes, right? And so today we are reviewing French Montana's Jungle Rules. So starting off here, let's get into some logistics of the album. It is 18 songs long, and it's an hour and 4 minutes. And just as it said, with the songs and the runtime, it is definitely a very, very big album. It even feels big, because there are those albums that you will hear and you'll listen, and it'll say, this album is an hour and a half or an hour or whatever, and it'll feel like 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But this one is definitely not one of those things. You definitely feel the length of this album, definitely going through it from track 1 to track 18. And also, let's talk about one of the highlights of this album. That is the feature set. The features are no joke at all. They range, from Soleil, from Rae Sremmurd. We have The Weeknd on here. We have Travis Scott. We have Pharrell, Quavo, Young Thug. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these great top tier artists that are super good, and even some, that are not as well known, at least to me personally, but they do such a good job, wherever they are in the album, that it makes you want to go and research them and go find the music and everything. We will talk about that here in a later point going on from the review. Overall, very, very great features. It's a great length. It's a nice meaty album. There's definitely a lot of substance here, a lot of things to talk about, and let's get right into it. So this album, I feel, is one of kind of the really difficult ones to review as of now, right? So, the ones that we've had throughout the year, they've been pretty, cut and dry, black or white, pretty much, if I like them or hate them the same. But this one, this one is such a difficult one to kind of discuss in a way, you know what I'm saying? And it's the notion that I don't think this is as good as I want it to be, nor as good as it's portrayed to be. So for an example, trying to just explain myself here, right? Track number 2, Unforgettable. It's a big hit right now. It is super big. A lot of people love the track, and for a good reason. It's a great track, you know what I'm saying, right? And this track, you know what I'm saying, is so good, right? With Soleil and French Montana, it is so good that I feel that it has enticed a lot of people to go check out this album, right? Because, man, like, if we have such a good track like Unforgettable, you know what I'm saying, the album has to be good, right? To a degree, right? Of course, like, historically looking, that hasn't been the case at all, really. But just historically speaking, there are some cases where just one of the tracks of the album that they decide to be the single, it definitely speaks for the album's quality and everything. But this one, I don't really know if it does. And I think, thinking now to it, right, it's not that this album is bad. It's kind of like Avengers Age of Ultron, right? Like, you all know the second Avengers movie, right? If we compare that to the first Avengers and compare it to all the other movies that are in the MCU, right? Age of Ultron is a little bit unforgettable. I think that we can all say that. I think we can all, agree in a way that Age of Ultron did not have the same impact as the original Avengers, right? And of course, there's most of the reasons. There's this, that, and the third, whatever. But overall, generally speaking, I would, kind of make the argument, the overall consensus, that Age of Ultron is kind of a weaker MCU movie, and it's kind of, the movie that we all hoped it would be, the insanity that was Avengers 1. But it just didn't. It just wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like here there are parts of that argument where I definitely would align it to this album, and I think it's just mainly just the overall kind of theme that this album is good in the moment. This album is good, when you're at a club. I'm sure this album is good when you're out with your friends, you're at a pool, you're chilling at a party, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are definitely good club tracks here on this. But the thing is that I feel like maybe this album sacrificed its longevity, sacrificed its kind of stick in people's minds for that kind of club, you know, theme and album. And that's nothing, you know, to be ashamed of. That's nothing to its detriment. That's not even necessarily even a bad thing if you're going to talk, you know, if you're going to talk honestly, it's not really even a bad thing. It's just how the album is, you know, formulated, and kind of, I guess it was something that I wasn't really expecting, I guess, maybe at the end of the day. I guess maybe this is more of a personal thing, more maybe of an issue that falls in line with me, just that I wasn't really expecting an album in this way. You know what I'm saying? Does that kind of make sense, guys? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you guys catch my drift, if you guys, you know, feel what I'm saying here. And what makes this album so difficult to really talk about here is that when you look throughout the album, there was a pretty consistent, you know, level of quality, right? There was a pretty, you know, consistent level of, okay, I like this track, like they aren't bunched up in the beginning, they aren't bunched up at the end. Like overall, I feel like there was a nice kind of even playing field of really good tracks, and those, you know, are Whiskey Eyes, the intro. We have track 2, Unforgettable. Then, you know, moving on to track 4, we have Ally with The Weeknd and Max B. Then right after that, we have Pharrell, you know, with Jump, and then we have Hotel Bathroom, you know, which is one of the ones that I feel kind of stood out in a way, you know, in a really weird way for me. I don't know why that song even stuck out. There's nothing really, you know, redeeming or like really that interesting about it, but it was just a cool track that I liked and I enjoyed, you know, from French. Then we go to Pharrell's feature on that track. Then we go on a little bit later. We have Migo Montana with no, it's not the Migos. Is with Quavo. Don't get that mistaken. It's not with the Migos. So Quavo specifically. And you know, there could even be a whole other video that I would love to talk about you know, the notion and kind of the thing that is, I like to call the Destiny Child effects, where we have an artist that was in a group and they go solo, like we had with Justin Timberlake, we have Beyonce, we had with that One Direction, what's his name, you know, that guy from One Direction, and then now we have with Quavo. Like that's deserve another day, but you know, let's keep talking about the album. We go on to one of my favorite tracks of the entire album, which is No Pressure featuring Future. That song is good. That song is good, guys. No Pressure is really good. Really good. And then we have some okay tracks, you know, in the middle with T.I. and Young Thug, you know, those are alright, those are cool, whatever. And then we have one of the most standout features, if not the best feature, I would say, on the album. You know, and it comes from a person that I wasn't aware of previously. His name is Mark E. Bassey, right? And this feature he does is immaculate. It is incredible. It is great. It is the type of feature quality that we got from the infamous track Nothing on You. We all, you know, remember that track Nothing on You a few years ago with B.O.B. and Bruno Mars, where it was such a powerful track that launched both of their careers, I would argue. You know what I'm saying? And Mark E. Bassey here, you know, with this feature, I think this feature literally is near that point where I feel like this could really put him on the map in a big way. I've never heard of him personally. I don't know if he's like a big deal in maybe another genre or maybe like in the R&B spectrum where I'm not aware of, but Mark E. Bassey was a great feature on this. I definitely did appreciate his feature and his work and his presence on the album. And then, you know, kind of from there, I guess things kind of taper off a little bit, and the outro track is like such a garbage outro to me. Like it's such a bad, it felt so weird because it felt like you literally just, it felt like you just got cut off a cliff and like that was it. Like it was such a weird thing. Like, you know, like it like, you know, it kind of had my, you know, like it had my warranting of being played. It had my hype and everything, but then it just gets cuts off at the end out of nowhere, and it felt really weird to me. So I didn't really like the outro at all, really. I hated the outro. So overall, you know, Kev, like, you know, what makes this album weird to you? It's just that, yeah, you know, I just talked for a good, you know, 5-6 minutes about all the tracks I loved, tracks that were good to me, features that were good to me, everything. But the thing is, you know, of those things that stood out to me, very few stick out in the, you know, mindset of maybe a couple of days out from this album, right? And you know, you're just chilling somewhere. Like, I don't think I'm gonna think about this album a lot, and that's kind of thing where I guess I'm left with yours, because, you know, you guys know me right now. If you guys have seen my tweets, if you guys have seen, you know, anything with me lately, you all know I am in love with SZA, right? I am in love with the album Control. I cannot express how much I love that album, and you know, that album has stuck with me, right? I don't listen to it every day. I listen to it frequently. I don't listen to it every day, but I tell you, that is an album that sticks. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nothing Was the Same from Drake. album that sticks. You know what I'm saying? If you're reading this, album that sticks. You know what I'm saying? Future, the you know, album that was, you know, called Future. I said this over again. That album sticks. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are a bunch of albums here that stick. You know what I'm saying? But this one, I don't think it has that, you know, sticky texture for me, at least personally. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all I got for Jungle Rules. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and share them below. I appreciate the video you give me. Thanks for watching, and as always, I got you.